Kashmir attack, bomb kills 40 soldiers in military convoy?
At least 40 Indian paramilitary soldiers have been killed in a bomb attack by militants on their convoy in Indian-administered Kashmir. Police told the BBC that a car filled with explosives had rammed a bus carrying the troops to Srinagar. Pakistan-based Islamist group Jaish-e-Mohammed said it was behind the attack. It is the deadliest militant attack on Indian forces in Kashmir since the insurgency against Indian rule began in 1989. Both India and Pakistan claim all of Muslim-majority Kashmir but only control parts of it. India's Prime Minister described the attack as despicable. The blast took place on the heavily guarded Srinagar-Jammu highway about 20 kilometers, 12 miles, from the main city in Indian-administered Kashmir, Srinagar. Indian media reports said that at about 15:15 local time, 9:45 GMT, a car carrying between 300 and 350 kilograms, 660 to 770 pounds, of explosives struck a convoy of about 70 vehicles that was carrying about 2,500 troops to the Kashmir Valley. A car overtook the convoy and rammed into a bus with 44 personnel on board, a senior police official told BBC Ras Masroor. The official said the death toll might increase because dozens were critically injured. The highway had previously been closed for a week because of snow, reports said. AFP news agency said Jaish-e-Mohammed had told local media it had carried out a suicide bombing. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has strongly condemned the attack. Home Minister Rajnath Singh said Jaish-e-Mohammed was Pakistan-based and Pakistan-backed, while Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said those responsible would be given an unforgettable lesson for their heinous act. Two former chief ministers of the state, Omar Abdul and Mehbooba Mufti, have also tweeted about the attack. By Ethirajan Ambarsan, BBC South Asia regional editor. The Indian security establishment had been chest-thumping in recent months on how they managed to contain the insurgency. This attack though is a reminder the conflict is far from over. The incident could increase tensions between India and Pakistan. The Indian government had already pointed the finger at Pakistan for allegedly supporting militant groups like Jaish-e-Mohammed. Pakistan denies those accusations. Some blame India's Hindu nationalist BJP government for not initiating steps to start peace negotiations with Kashmiri groups and also with Pakistan. The Indian government faces a dilemma. Any strong-arm tactics will further alienate the Kashmiri population. But not being seen to be doing anything on the ground will not augur well for Mr. Modi, who is seeking re-election in a couple of months. There have been at least 10 suicide attacks since 1989 but car bombs rare. Prior to Thursday's bombing, the deadliest attack on Indian security forces in Kashmir this century came in 2002, when militants killed at least 31 people at an army base in Kalyachak near Jammu, most of them civilians and relatives of soldiers. At least 19 Indian soldiers were killed when militants stormed a base in Uri in 2016. Delhi blamed that attack on the Pakistani state, which denied any involvement.
2018 has been the bloodiest year in Indian-administered Kashmir in a decade. More than 500 people have been killed, including civilians, militants, and security forces. While this has long been a region in turmoil, one of the most militarized areas in the world, what's caused the recent spike in violence? India and Pakistan have fought over the Himalayan region of Kashmir ever since they both became independent in 1947. They went to war over it 2 times, And as it stands now, they each control a part of the region. Some areas are also controlled by China. Here in Indian-administered Kashmir, the most deadly period was from the late 1980s through the 1990s. Resistance to Indian rule led to a rise in militancy and tens of thousands of people were killed. The violence subsided in the first decade of this century, but it's never fully gone away. And the anti-India sentiment among people here remains strong. This means every now and then the unrest spikes. This fresh wave of violence we're witnessing now has been escalating since 2016. That was when Burhan Wani, a 22-year-old militant leader, was shot dead by Indian armed forces. He was adored by many here, had a mass following, and his death led to anger and protests. Both sides, the security forces and the armed insurgents, have since become more active. This is an operation taking place just on the outskirts of the city of Srinagar. You can hear the fierce exchange of gunfire going on there. Indian armed forces are fighting what are believed to be 2, perhaps 3 militants who are hiding in there. This gun exchange has just intensified, but the operation has been going on all through the night for the past 12 hours. And it's these kind of operations that the armed forces have really ramped up this year. There have been more than 100 in just 2018 alone. 3 armed insurgents were killed. But the problem is, every time a militant dies, it serves to inspire more youth to take up arms. Like Firdaus Ahmad Mir, he became a militant in 2017. He was killed just a year later in November 2018.
Men saçım on maksad o barda yetçiz jabriya gasan zulum şu gasan bakay şu huçu gasan namaz suçuma bayo denirse gasan gustoy ki şeyvan galat peş ki karni ması men saçım barda.
This is Firdaus's funeral. Tens of thousands of people turn up to pay last respects to insurgents who've been killed. The militant outfits have also become more violent. 2018 has seen a sharp increase in targeted killings of policemen, of armymen, but also of civilians who the insurgents believe give information about them to security forces. We're on our way now to a district in southern Kashmir which is known to be a hotbed of militancy, where an army man was shot in his home in front of his family. Mukhtar Ahmad Malik was killed by militants when he was at home on leave.
Kashmir te aav tang setha aav na lihada jo yemne şu betar bambari.
The bang you just heard there was a stone that was hurled at this door behind me. Out there is a group of protesters who've been pelting stones for the past hour or so. Security forces here as well as outside trying to contain them. This is a very regular sight in Kashmir. Protests like these happen on a weekly basis, and sometimes when things are more deadly, they happen even more often. A very visible sign of the anti-Indian sentiment in this region. Civilians are often killed in the crossfire, in protests and also in operations conducted by the security services and the militants. The numbers are stacking up and many are questioning the tactics of both sides.
We have made the area safe. We have made the area safe for the local populace. We cannot sit and keep on watching militants with weapons, roaming in villages, threatening people and gaining ground. No, we cannot. We just cannot afford to watch that. We have to act.
It's hard to predict what 2019 will bring. Will there be a pause in the violence or increased bloodshed? The only thing one can say with certainty is that it's never too long before the next killing takes place here.
The latest attack also follows a spike in violence in Kashmir that came about after Indian forces killed a popular militant, 22-year-old Burhwani, in 2016. More than 500 people were killed in 2018, including civilians, security forces and militants, the highest such toll in a decade. Bashir Mansoor, a journalist based in Indian-administered Kashmir, said the bombing would boost the morale of militants and contradicted claims the situation in Kashmir is being brought under control. Over the past few months, political leaders in Srinagar and Delhi have made tall claims about how the situation in Kashmir has been normalized and hundreds of militants, including top leaders, had been killed, he told the BBC. They claimed that militant groups were on the defensive and fewer people were joining their ranks. The two countries have fought 3 wars and a limited conflict since independence from Britain in 1947, all but one were over Kashmir. Started by cleric Maulana Masood Azhar in 2000, the group has been blamed for attacks on Indian soil in the past, including one in 2001 on the parliament in Delhi which took India and Pakistan to the brink of war. It is also said to have introduced suicide bombings in Kashmir, with the first such attack taking place in 2000. It has been designated a terrorist organization by India, the UK, US and UN and has been banned in Pakistan since 2002. However, Maulana Masood Azhar remains at large and is reportedly based in the Bahawalpur area in Pakistan's Punjab province. India has often demanded Maulana Masood Azhar's extradition from Pakistan but Islamabad has refused, citing a lack of proof.